Hey guys, it is Sydney. We are here for our Mindful Monday activity. Today we are doing an ice cream sensory bin. I'm super excited about it. Um, there's a couple of different steps, but first, before we get started, since it's Circus Week, we are going to be reading a circus book. So, this book is called You See a Circus, I See. So, let's get started. I'm going to move all my stuff out of the way. Okay. The circus is here. It's come to town. Lions, acrobats, elephants, clowns. Kids of all ages rush to get in. The world's greatest show is about to begin. You see a strong man, solid as stone, strong as a bear, muscles bulging everywhere. This amazing giant man bends an iron rod by hand. I see my uncle. He picks me up with just one arm and tells me I'm his lucky charm. We wrestle every chance we get. It's strange he's never penned me yet. You see a lion tamer. He takes his place center stage with wild lions in a cage. Some people think that he's a fool to face 6 lions with a stool. I see my teacher. He tutors me in math and art. In fact, he's really quite smart, but he's not fearless as it seems. When I surprise him, he sure screams. You see a juggler. She grabs a broom and ball and chair, then tosses them into the air. She performs this wondrous feat atop a unicycle seat. I see my best friend. In the circus train we ride. We live in rail cars side by side. Together we play cards or chess and share our dreams of great success. You see a tattooed man with skulls and serpents head to toe. His tattoos even seem to glow. He's fearsome looking, very grim. You'd never stay alone with him. I see Silly Joe. He fools around with goofy things from beanie hats to squirting rings. And he can really play a joke, like when he makes his sneakers smoke. You see trapeze artists. 2 acrobats in snazzy tights soar overhead while chased by lights. From platforms high above the ground, they leap, then flip and spin around. I see my parents. My mom and dad are really neat. To see them fly is quite a treat. But when we're off to have some fun, they still make sure my homework's done. You see a clown. He wears enormous spotted tights and rides a trike while dodging pies. His silly stunts and make people laugh, and kids sure love his autograph. I see Quiet Mike. He's really funny in the show, but afterward he always goes and finds himself a peaceful nook where he can sit and read a book. You see a boy on a horse. He spins and twirls double quick to carry out his saddle trick. Next, he swings from side to side, then stands and waves to end his ride. I see me. It's fun to be an acrobat, but I work hard to do my act. I have to practice hours each day to ride my horse this special way. You see a circus, tattooed men, trapeze stars, mighty strong men bending bars, jugglers, clowns, acrobats, lion tamers, roaring cats, all beneath a 3-ring dome. But when I see a circus, I see home. So that was You See a Circus, I See by Mike Downs. So that is how we're going to start for our circus week this week. And now we're going to move into making our ice cream sensory bin. So a sensory box or bin is a great way to practice mindfulness and to get your hands dirty a little bit. That helps you focus on or distract yourself from something that may be bothering you. So to start, you'll need a bowl, some kind of bin for your sensory bin. So I just have like a Tupperware container. It doesn't have to have a lid, but if you're going to keep your sensory bin for a while, you're going to want to have a lid. You're going to need flour, a measuring cup like this, or you can use like a scoop. And then I'm using vegetable oil, but you can also use baby oil or olive oil or anything like that. Whatever you have around, anything will work. So I'm using vegetable oil today. If you want your ice cream to be a different color, I'm just making mine vanilla today, so it's just going to be white. But if you want it to be a different color, you'll need some food coloring to make it a different color. And then that's for the actual ice cream part. After that, we'll need like our toppings and stuff. So for cones that we're gonna make, you're gonna need some brown construction paper or cardstock or anything like that. If you don't have brown construction paper, you can also use white paper and color it brown. That's a great way to do it as well. And then you'll need some toppings. So I have some little gems, some little sequins and stuff. And then I also have some pom-poms like this, as well as some colored rice. So I'll tell you how to make the colored rice later, but I have my colored rice for sprinkles. So let's get started with the actual dough, which will be the ice cream. So what you're gonna need is the flour and the oil. And I'm gonna start with flour, and I'm gonna put 1 cup of flour in my bowl. So I am using a 1/4 cup scoop, so I'm gonna need 4 scoops. That's 3, 1 more, 4. And it is kind of messy, so make sure you have a like a towel or a paper towel or something nearby. I have just a dish towel that I'm gonna use if I get messy. And I'm just doing this on my kitchen table or my dining room table, but make sure you're on a space that's flat. I wouldn't recommend doing it on like the carpet or anything. I would definitely have a table. All right, so now that we have our flour done, we are going to put some oil in. So I'm going to start with just a 1/4 of a cup of oil. If you need more, you can always add more after. So pour your oil in, and then you can either use a spoon or something. I'm actually just going to use my hands to mix it, but it's up to you, whatever is easier. So you're going to start mixing the oil into the flour. Again, if it doesn't look super thick or anything, just add more oil. Looks like I'm going to need more oil. And you're going to make this into your dough. And like I said, if you want to make it a different color, like let's say you want your ice cream to be strawberry, you can add some pink food dye and make it strawberry flavored ice cream. So like I said, you can also use a spoon or something if you don't want to use your hands. It's definitely messy. So, and I'm making a mess on my table, but that's okay. It's okay to make messes. We can clean them up. you're gonna see that it's gonna become this kind of consistency, which will be like a Play-Doh kind of. So once you have it like that, you're going to take it all and transfer it into your sensory bin. So keep mixing until it gets to about this consistency. If you can see mine, it's kind of like a Play-Doh. And then you're going to put it in your sensory bin and kind of clear off your area. I made a big mess, so I'm going to move some of this out of the way. It's okay if your hands stay kind of messy because we're going to keep playing in it, so no worries about that. Again, if you have a paper towel, or I'm just using a dish towel to kind of clean up behind myself. Okay, so now you have your ice cream dough, and you can either keep it in a ball like this or kind of sprinkle it out. And next we're going to make our cones for our ice cream sensory dough. So we're going to grab our brown construction paper. So if you can grab that. Sorry, my hands are very messy. Grab your brown construction paper. And what we're going to do is I'm going to actually cut this in half. So I cut this in half, and now I'm going to make a cone out of it. So I am just going to kind of twist it into a circle so that it makes a cone. And I'll show you as soon as I'm done. So you can make it into a cone like this, and then you can either cut off the top if you want it to be more look like a cone. You could also just cut it across if you wanted to cut this across into a triangle. I'll show you that right now. So if you just cut right down the diagonal. Now when you circle it, it should even out a little bit. So now we have our cone, and I'm just going to take a piece of tape and tape that up. It doesn't have to be perfect. It is just going to be to play with. So now we have our cone, we have our dough in here, and then now it's just time to play. So what you can do is just take your dough, make it into a scoop. You can also use a scoop like you were using for your flour. You can make scoops, play around in it. It feels really nice on your hands. You can put it into your ice cream cone. You can put it in a small bowl if you want to do that. And then you can use your toppings that we had. So, for example, we have our scoop of ice cream right here, like this. And now we can put some sprinkles on it. So I have my colored rice, and I can put it on top. It's kind of hard to see with the lighting. But I put my sprinkles on top to make it into a sprinkles on top of my ice cream. Now, I'm going to show you, while you're playing around with this, I'm going to show you how you can make your colored rice into sprinkles. So all you would need is a Ziploc bag and some food dye and water. So you'll put I put about a cup of rice into my Ziploc bag, and then pour some water in there and a few drops of the food coloring, and just kind of shake it around, make sure all the rice gets covered in food dye, and then let it sit for a few minutes so that it soaks up the color. And then you're gonna lay it out on a plate or a cookie sheet or something to let it dry. So I made green rice, if you can see that. And I just have it on a plate drying. It's still kind of damp. But it is a fun little thing. And then if you play with it, it feels really nice to play with your hands. So then you can put your sprinkles into your sensory bin. And that'll be really cool. So now you have this, and we're gonna do one last thing. We are going to decorate our sensory bin. So by making some ice cream scoops to put on top. So clear your space a little bit. And earlier I'd mentioned that we were gonna need colored construction paper, and you'll use the other half of your brown construction paper as well. And again, if you don't have colored construction paper, you can just use white paper and you can color it in whatever color you want. And then you can use markers or crayons, or whatever you like to draw with. So I'm just gonna move all of my dough scraps out of the way. And then I'm gonna grab my construction paper. So I have my brown construction paper, and then I also have pink and blue, but you can use whatever colors you want for your ice cream scoops. So first, we're going to cut a triangle out of our brown to be the cone. So I have a triangle for my cone. Now you're going to take the colored construction paper and you'll cut out your scoops. So we're gonna be writing our name on the scoops. You can either cut out as many scoops as there are letters in your name, but I have kind of a longer name, so I'm actually just gonna cut out a few and I'll put a couple of letters on each scoop so that I don't have a ridiculous amount of scoops. But if you have a short name like Sam or something like that, you can cut out 3. So I'm gonna cut out 4. And the scoop is just a half circle. So I'll show you as soon as I cut it out. So you have a half circle that you're going to be putting into your cone. And I'm going to cut out 2 out of pink and 2 out of blue. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just for you. It's just a decoration for your sensory bin. One more out of my blue. Okay, so now I have 4 scoops like this. And now I'm gonna tape them onto my cone. You can also use glue if you want to do that, like a glue stick or something. But I just have tape, so that's what I'm going to use. And also, I know like my hands are still pretty doughy from our ice cream dough. So please go, if you need to wash your hands, go do that. Because mine are pretty sticky. Oops, I dropped one. So I'm just taping my ice cream scoops onto my ice cream cone. I have one more left. Alrighty. So now that I've taped all my scoops onto my cone, I'm going to write my name on it. So I'm just going to use a black marker. You can use, like I said, crayons, Sharpies, colored pencils, whatever you want to use. And now I'm going to write my name down. So see, I wrote my name, and now I can put it either on the side of my sensory bin or on top of it, on the lid if you want. Or you can hang it on the wall nearby where you keep it. But that is our ice cream sensory bin. That's a great way to like distract yourself if you're having, if something's bothering you or anything like that. You can use a sensory bin to kind of just distract yourself, get your hands a little dirty and moving, and explore all those different sensations. So thank you for joining me today. I will be back here next Monday for another mindfulness activity. And I will also be here Friday for a Get Moving activity. So I'll see you then. Bye.